How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And I hope everybody's doing well, and I appreciate everybody that takes time to watch my videos. After the Department of Justice dropped all charges against rare breed triggers, as well as now a former ATF agent coming forward and telling the truth about forced reset triggers, the Democrats and the anti-gunners have lost their shit. So like I said, the Department of Justice settled a lawsuit with rare breed triggers over the ATF's ban of forced reset triggers. And now the ATF has to return all products seized by rare breed triggers. And rare breed triggers can start making their product again. But of course the anti-gun groups, as well as Democrats, and of course the mainstream media, are not very happy about it. And here's what the Brady group had to say. The Trump administration has deregulated machine guns. What a load of horse shit that is. And here's what Giffords had to say. That the administration legalized machine guns, saying the forced reset triggers can convert semi-automatic firearms into machine guns. Once again, another load of horseshit. And here's what former ATF Special Agent Mark Jones had to say. He's held numerous supervisor roles throughout the ATF and retired in 2011. I think honestly, the ramifications of the device itself are going to be minuscule. Forced reset triggers are a niche thing. Most of the time, you're not going to see them showing up at crimes. And here's what the executive director of Duke University's Center for Firearms Law, Andrew Willinger, had to say. The devices are comparable to bump stocks. And of course, last year, the Supreme Court decision in Garland versus Cargill overturned the Trump-era ban on bump stocks because they did not fire more than one shot by a single function of the trigger. That is how they define a machine gun. And we all knew that bump stocks and forced reset triggers don't meet that definition. FRTs reset the trigger to the position that it can be pulled, but it still requires the shooter's manual operation with each shot. And that's really exactly the issue in Cargill. So it's hard to see how Cargill didn't sort of settle the question. And here's what another pissed off gun hater had to say. This guy's name is David Puccino, and he's Giffords' legal director and their deputy chief counsel. And he says there's substantive differences between a bump stock and a forced reset trigger. And the huge similarity between both is that neither device allows multiple rounds to be fired with a single function of the trigger, which is the legal definition of a machine gun. But he says he's worried that rare breed triggers might team up with an AR manufacturer in the future and release a rifle that comes standard with an FRT. He said he can see this happening, but as the former ATF agent mentioned earlier, that it too will be a relatively niche item for gun owners and collectors. So now that under federal law, FRT triggers are legal, there are states that have banned the triggers and also are in the motion of banning the triggers. And a lot of the language in these laws strictly ban what they call trigger activators. And also don't be surprised that Democrat-run states that have also either banned FRTs or are in the motion of banning them. When suppressors are taken off the NFA list, those states will most certainly ban suppressors as well. And what gun owners have to be aware of, new and pending gun laws in their states, when it comes to the FRTs and silencers, you really have to be hyper aware of what's going on so you don't get caught up in a charge. We all knew from the get-go, forced reset triggers and bump stocks are just accessories, and they do not turn a firearm into a machine gun if you follow the definition of what the ATF says is a machine gun. But of course, all the anti-gun groups and the Democrats have their panties all in a bunch because FRTs are now legal. And very soon, hopefully, the suppressors will not be an NFA item anymore. And you wouldn't have to pay a $200 tax stamp. A suppressor would just be an accessory that you could go into your local gun shop or a gun show and purchase it. And we'll have to see if you have to pass a background check to get it. But it definitely looks like things are looking good for our Second Amendment rights. But now the Republicans in Congress need to get off their hands and pass more legislation to protect our Second Amendment rights even further. They've got the votes, so let's get going on it. As always, I would really like to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, what you think about today's video. And if you enjoyed today's video, and you also want to help the channel out and help it to continue to grow, I just ask you to take a few seconds of your time to like, share, and subscribe, and hit those post notifications. I really would appreciate it. and I invite all of you to come back and watch my next video.